Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. Come on everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare.
So, Hare Krishna. So, quickly, let's probably go through the Veda base wise to. Okay, can you all remember what is the whole conversation about? What is this chapter called?
the cause of all causes.
Very nice, cause of all causes. So, specifically, what is so? Why is this? Why is it called so?
Narada is a conversation between Narada and Brahmaji.
Ah, very nice.
He wants to know the real cause of the creation.
Very nice. So he wants to know the actual cause of creation. But the how does the scene start? Like very nicely answered. But what is the story behind it? What is the scene like? And what is the reason for Narada to ask these questions?
All the while, Narada was thinking that Brahmaji is the creator, his father. But when he sees Brahmaji offering austerities to some other, offering of austerities, he feels there is some other higher person who is there, who is the cause of all creation.
Very nice. So basically, when he noticed that was meditating on someone, until then he was thinking. Now we will all be wondering why the whole thing is behind. Why is there? Okay, then I will ask you all this. Why is there a disposition? See, Narada is a very elevated soul, right? So Narada is also addressed as Bhagavan. He's as good as Bhagavan, who knows the past, present, future, which is what Vyasa says in our previous canto, first canto. If we see the chapter 4 and 5, he Vyasa addresses Narada as Bhagavan and also says, the past, present, and future. In which case, why is it that, he's unaware of the whole thing? Or
For,
it seems as if he's unaware.
for our sake, for us to understand, I think.
Yes, very nice. So every confusion, every disposition has a story behind it, right? And the story behind this particular one is because of the confusion, or the cause of confusion is because of Narada. Narada wanting to, not even Narada, I would rather say it's the province, right? Krishna wants us to know, and every time, like how Namanishra Prabhu says, he would always communicate to his favorite students only through his own people, right? That is the mother. The mother will communicate. If she wants to communicate to a daughter-in-law, the mother-in-law communicates through her own daughter. Same way, Krishna, if he is going to tell this through his devotees, only then we'll pay it. If Krishna is going to talk to us, we're not going to listen, right? So now going back to the quick thing. So chapter 5, Narada's instruction. This is, sorry, Canto 1. I just went. This is what I was referring to when in this discussion they refer as to he knows the past, present, and future. Now, the cause of all causes, we see what happens. Narada, actually, they say that he is offering obeisances and therefore he is directing, he is addressing to them. So he's asking his father in the second verse, he's telling that, he's talking about what are the symptoms, how is this particular world manifested, what is the background. who created it, how is it conserved, right? And who controls it? So typically he's asking a lot of questions pertaining to the cause of all causes. So he is specifically addressing these questions because this is the technical part, no, which already Pran Prabhu covered, right? He says Rupam. Rupam means what are the symptoms of manifestation. Adhishtanam, who is the background? What is the background behind this creation? Shrishtam means Shrishti Shakti, right? That is who created it. And he is telling who conserved it, right? Samstam, who protected, conserved it. And finally, he also wants to know what are the facts. Tattvam. What is the meaning of Tattvam?
Principle, something.
Yes, Tattvam has a lot of things. Principle, truth, right? Facts. All this will come under Tattvam, right? Understanding, concepts, all of that. The story or the facts behind all of that will come under Tattvam.
You're muted, Radha. You're muted.
Yeah. So can you hear me, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Now, yes.
Yeah. So now, moving on to the next one, what he is talking about is he's telling that overall, scientifically, he's again telling that, the past is now here. He's talking to Brahma. He's telling to Brahma ji, that is the father, knows the past, present, and the future, right? So, and therefore, he's saying that, it's just like what is the analogy he's giving?
Walnut.
Excellent, walnut.
Actually,
So,
I have a
as
question, Mataji. I have a question. Actually, Amlaka means gooseberry.
ha,
Amlaka, literal meaning is gooseberry, but it's mentioned walnut. I was wondering why walnut is mentioned here.
yeah, so basically the translation has done that. So if you see in Tamil, invariably we also had this doubt. When we did this reading in Tamil, they refer as gooseberry only.
Yeah.
They've referred as gooseberry. You're talking about in Sanskrit, it's mentioned as amlaka, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think for the sake of translation, they've given this as walnut, but I think they're referring to gooseberry only because in Tamil also they've referred as gooseberry. But actually, if you see the structure of the earth, right? If you see the Mahatattva and all that, it looks more like a groundnut. So I was also relating it more to walnut than gooseberry. But more than understanding that thing, what they're telling is if you're having a fruit in our hand, we know in and out, right? In and out, not of the fruit, but at least we have a complete grip or control of the fruit. So they are just talking from that point of view. So you take it whether it's walnut or gooseberry or badam, ultimately they are just talking about the level of control one would have about things which are in his hand, which means that the entire earth, not just the entire manifestation and not just this manifestation, all the manifestations are just like everything within his palms, right? So he just has so much of control over it. Now, after seeing Brahma meditating, he's asking, who's the source of your energy? Right? Under whose protection? So there is this very nice sloka, right? Sarga Visarga, right? What's the Atta Sarga Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utayah Manmantara Ishanu Kata Nirodha Mukti Ashrayah, which means that all of this it'll come later during second canto. I don't remember the chapter, but we haven't gone through the chapter. It talks about Sarga, who's in charge. What do you mean by Sarga and who's in charge of that? Hare Krishna. What do you mean by Sarga and who's in charge of it?
Sarga is the first primary creation.
Excellent. Primary creation is Sarga. And who's in charge of that?
Sankarshana.
Yeah, correct. So Sankarshan, but then originally Krishna is very nice answer. Sankarshan is in charge of both primary world and secondary world. So and every single thing in the material world and all. But primary in charge, yes, Balram is done and it is through Krishna. So Krishna becomes the cause for the first set of creation. Now secondary creation, who's in charge of?
Vishnu.
Secondary creation, that is the material creation. Who's in charge of the material creation?
Mahasankarshana.
Okay. Vishnu is in charge. But who's taking care of all that? Visarga. Who takes care of Visarga? Who takes care of Visarga? Garbhodakasai Vishnu. So Garbhodakasai also. Okay. So what is Brahma's role?
To recreate what is already created.
Excellent. So to recreate all the things. So basically, they're talking about the how many types of bodies are there where any of us could be in future as well can go into.
84 lakhs.
84 lakhs.
So who's the machine? Who's the designer of this?
Brahma, right?
Brahma, exactly. Brahma. We don't have to think so much. It's Brahma because there is enough proof of this because gopis also are telling, na, why did Brahma create the eyelash? They don't say Vishnu. So this secondary creation in charge is Brahma. So he's talking about that so that is why he's asking about under whose protection he is standing, under whose protection he is working, and who's the real creator, right? So these are the things which he's talking about. And he also says, uh, are you doing it with your personal energy? All of them, right? All the material elements. What are the material? Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu. We read this, right? Which sloka in Bhagavad Gita we had this 8 elements of the material elements? Where is this coming up in Bhagavad Gita? Which sloka in Bhagavad Gita? Either you can tell me the chapter or you can tell me the sloka. He says, these are my separated elements. Hare Krishna. Why so silent?
Seventh
Which?
chapter.
Correct. Thank you so much.
7.4.
Yeah, so Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kamma, No, Buddhirevacha, Ahankara, Mityama, Bina, Prakrita, Rashtata. So these are separated elements, right? So he's asking the same thing. He says, do you create all these material elements just by your personal energy? What is your real position, right? What is technically your profile? So Atmaka, what is it? So what is your role in all that and all that? And what is the analogy they have given here? What is the analogy?
The
One is, of course, one.
The spider.
Spider, very, very nice. So basically, here very beautifully, the spider creates at the same time it destroys. This is the only example largely we'll be able to relate to because most of the time the creator and the creation is generally, the raw material and the created stuff is generally from two different people, right? For example, if the potter is creating, he will take the raw material, which is probably the mud or the clay, from obviously the bhumi or that is created by Lord. But the final end product could be his creation, right? So the person who created it and the successful thing which is getting created are two different things. Whereas spider is the only thing, from its own body, it's creating at the same end. So everything Prabhupada so beautifully tries and relates. And one more such example I can think of is Paramatma, right? So when he brings about Paramatma, when he says that the Paramatma lives in everybody's heart, but there is only one Paramatma, it's very difficult for us to understand that, right? But when he takes sun, it's so nice, right? So every time when I take any session for the beginners, I always tell, look up, what do you see? Sun. So your sun, I have a sun. Yes. Are they same or different? Same. So when a single sun, which is in the material thing, when you look up and the same sun we can see, I see the same sun from Chennai. Priyadarshini Mataji sees the same sun when she's sitting in Bangalore. I think Lalita Mataji is seeing the same thing when she's sitting in Bombay. And I'm sure some of Shama Gopika Mataji, I think Singapore, right? So wherever you all are, right, you all are able to see the same sun, even though it need not be in the same place. And that is the speciality of the
Mataji,
energy.
I have a question here, if you don't mind. Can you
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sun, I agree. Sun, I 100% agree. But in the case of spider, it's a living being. Now, behind that also there's some force, no?
There is a force behind that, but what they are talking about is slightly different. They are not telling spider creates things on its own, but overall, Mataji, if you take a comparison of a spider and a bird, right? How does a bird create a nest?
It brings in all the straw from all the
From
materials.
materials found outside.
So technically, from the world of the bird outsources the stem, the
Material.
sticks and all that, correct? From the life of the bird. According to the bird outsources it. Now,
Yes.
the knowledge of outsourcing is also given by Krishna, but it is anyways outsourcing. It is not created by the bird to do anything. Anyone for that matter. Same way, if you see the tortoise lays its eggs, right? We read this on the shore. It is laying it on the shore, but the shore is already created, No, by God. Now, what you're telling is a very lovely point that spider, the web power is also given by Krishna. But here we are not comparing the spider with Krishna, but we are comparing the analogy of spider creating its web to Krishna creating for us to understand. Otherwise, it will not be easy for us to understand. No, I'll continue to take examples as Potter, and I'll not be able to fix this for our understanding, not to your understanding. So, spider is very clearly trying. What does it do? It creates a web from its own saliva, right? And it also eventually destroys it. So what they're telling, the potency to create the cobweb, right? 1 second will come, like 2 days, 1 week, we are out of the house, you can see enough cobwebs. From where does it come? It does not outsource. It's his own saliva, it does, right?
Yes.
So from where is that saliva coming? Its own energy. So today I'm talking Mataji, it's my own energy. But that energy is given to me by Krishna. But I am not using a mic or a speaker. But if I'm using a mic or a speaker, now I'm speaking loud, right? But suppose I want to speak very softly, you can't hear, then I will outsource a mic. Then I'm using borrowed energy or external energy. As of now, this is the energy I'm using. Although the energy belongs to me and that owner of this energy is Krishna, but however, as of now, I would say this is my energy, right? Same way the spider, by its own endeavor, it creates. Unlike the bird, own endeavor, but it is trying to outsource or borrows it from there. I hope you understand. It's more
Yes,
from the
yes.
analogy point of view, not in comparison for our limited understanding, but not in comparison with the Lord Himself. So he is telling that whatever we understand, the nomenclature, characteristics, all of that, with just this is what is addressed there, whether it's superior, inferior, equal. Uh, this is typically the verse 6 of it. So he's telling that nothing seems to be created from source anything other than that. Right. So this is what he's talking about. He says that everywhere, whatever creation is there. So now slowly they are building up. So how they are telling, so because the lordship, you're so great, right? So they're just having a conversation, right? And overall, what he's telling, he's having a doubt about Brahma. Then he started thinking that whatever we understand, everything is related to Lord. Now here, which Lord? Whether it is Brahma or whether it is Krishna is something which we are going to drill in more deeply. Now we will tell, no, Brahma only created 84 lakh species. So Brahma is very powerful. And but then that 84 lakh species freedom, just like how we have limited freedom, or when we go to a beach, we do give a child a limited freedom to create a mountain. But you can't tell, hey, the child is so powerful, created a mountain. The child is Krishna. See, Krishna just carried a mountain, but the child created a mountain. If we say that, we'll be Poundrika number 2, right? Like how he called himself as Krishna. So that is exactly the case which we are going to see here as well. So we are talking about somehow or the other that he is talking about various, in spite of that, so he's talking about the great austerities he did, and all of them, he's telling that you're so powerful to create. He's saying, in spite of everything, right? He's now addressing, you only created, you did primary, according to him. Primary creations is Krishna, but he says that there's nobody to beat you. You understand the thing, you understand the particular feature of everything. There's nobody even equal to or inferior to you, which is a fact, right? From a material point of view, Brahma is the topmost human being, right? What is the percentage of qualities Brahma is having? What is the percentage compared to Krishna? Qualities. What is the percentage? 78%. So that is the highest among the living beings, which is why when we are trying to talk about perfect living being, can't beat Brahma. Because if we are equal to Brahma and if we are trying to beat Brahma, we will become Brahma. Because that's the highest, and that's where is the cutoff. So according to Narada, he says, boss, you are the highest living being among the Jiva Tattvas. Brahma stands out, right? He outsmarts everybody else. So this is exactly what he's saying, and therefore he's saying that nothing is more powerful than you. Now he's telling that even though you are the controller, from his point of view, that's why somebody asked, Ishwara means, isn't Indra Ishwara, isn't Shiva? Everybody are Ishwara. Ishwara means controller. Whom you count? Earlier days, long, long ago, they used to call the husbands also Ishwara, Swami. Probably if you date back to our great grandmother's movie time, this is what it says. So why is that is being addressed like that?
He was controlling the house.
Exactly, controller of the house. So they somehow or the other control something or the other. So this is something which you should be thinking of. Now, what we are talking. So we are talking about this. So now he is talking about Narada. Right? Sorry, I'll just move in. So he's telling, oh, Narada, you're quite right in your judgment that you asked a lot of questions and you've inspired me to talk about Krishna. See, this is what is the beauty of the people. So what they are telling is, what is special about everybody, how Krishna is so sweet, how Krishna is so powerful that he is able to specifically talk about them. Right? So this is the greatness of the Lord. So this is the beauty. What is so powerful about him is, normally if anybody talks about, we want to share some information, but we never tell us we don't want to disclose the source of information, whether it is office. For that matter, I've seen even women cooking. Some of them who are cooking, right? They will never tell the recipes. Have you all seen? I'm not talking about devotees. I'm not even talking about hotels, because hotel, I understand it's a profession. They don't want to leak out their recipe. But if you talk about even normal people, they will not tell the complete recipe of how it is done. Have you all experienced this? I have not experienced, but I've heard people tell. Right?
Yes,
Because
Mataji.
they want to hold that, what do you call, the secret taste, they want to keep
Magic touch.
exactly. They want to suppress that. And my grandmom, I still remember what she says. She says, it's okay to give the complete recipe. She used to tell all her daughter-in-laws, my mom, give the complete recipe. She says that no matter whatever recipe you all give, there is something called, the hand, right? They use the word pakvam, right, in Telugu and Tamil. So that the hand will actually give its own flavor. Right. And this is what we tell out of love when we cook, which we have noticed actually. When we cook in the DT temple, that is when I understood everything we do turns out to be perfect. I will never call myself a great cook. And the second question many of them ask is, your food is nice. Why do you not call yourself a great cook? Because I don't enjoy cooking. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not passionate about cooking. When do you call somebody is great in it is not when you do it well. It's when you do it passionately, right? I enjoy telling stories. So that is why I always tell I'm good in telling story. You all may come and tell, Mataji, your storytelling is average. Why do you claim that you're good in telling? Because I enjoy doing it. Right. So why I'm relating this is, same way here, Brahma is a creator. Everybody is telling, wow, Avajananti Mamuda are even thinking Brahma is the latest of Lord. And if you see in some parts like Bali, Bangkok and all, they pray Brahma. Though here in India, maybe Brahma is in a sub-altar in a big temple, but there is no exclusive deity temple for Brahma, except I think one place or something. But
In Pushkar, no?
Pushkar. Okay, I was not sure. Thanks, Matari. Pushkar is the only place, and there is story behind why Brahma is having. But the fact what they are trying to tell is Jiva Tatmas are not really worshipped. Like Prithu does not have a temple, right? Of course, Vyasa has for a different reason, but overall. So now we are talking about Brahma is so excited to hear this question, right? To an extent, we'll also be excited. Like in the sense, like if you go and ask a daughter who taught cooking for you, your taste is amazing. She'll be very proud. She will tell what? My mom taught. Have you seen? We still tell that. When I make something and someone says, I'll tell my mom taught this. Right? Because when I was making juice, right? Namnishra Prabhu specifically told me very nice. And 2, 3 of them in Mayapur, they said very nice because I keep the lemon concentrate a little more stronger than the rest. So when they said this, I was very happy. And then I immediately told after that, I was telling, no, my mom always likes to keep it concentrate. She doesn't make it very dilute. Some of them wanted very dilute, it's like water and a little bit of lemon. Abroad, they used to do that. They used to have something called lemon water, where they have water and they just add few lemon. So I used to tell, that's not lemon juice, that's lemon water. So like that, so why I was bringing it is, when it comes to that, we'll be proud. But even we are not very proud to tell this about our what should I say, about our mother-in-laws. We'll not tell, wow, my mother-in-law taught. I'm not telling all of us do or all of us don't, but most of the time, the wow we have with our mothers is definitely higher than we have with mother-in-laws. How many of you agree? I too will totally agree. No? Hare Krishna? Okay, then maybe I'm the only one. So coming back to the main story, so the wow factor. So same way, why I'm trying to compare this is because devotees, pure devotees are like that. They start having that sense of ownership and belonging to Krishna. So any topic or a chance when they get to talk about Krishna or glorify Krishna, they consider this as great. So can you, list out any character of any great or any person who had a chance to glorify Lord and they were very excited about it and they were looking forward for it? from Bhagavatam? Anywhere you found? Hare Krishna. Can I have all of you all to participate actively? Otherwise, most of the time I get worried if my class is boring.
Mataji, Brahma himself in the Brahma Samhita.
Ah, very nice. So Brahma himself, Brahma Samhita, right? I got it right. Very nice, and it didn't even strike me. Which is why it is very important to have devotee association, right? I'm reading about Brahma. I'm going to speak about Brahma. We are all having sadhu sangha, but this never came up to me. Thank you so much, Masaji. Yes, Brahma Samhita is glorifying Govinda Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Every day we chant it, but still it's important to be in sadhu sangha to have realizations. Singing is different, knowing is different, talking is different, but realizing is is definitely a notch above that. I can think of Vidura as well. So if you see Vidura is Yamadharma Raja, he never had a chance to glorify Krishna, which is why he comes back as what? Just as what does Vidura come as? What does Vidura come as? What does Vidura come back? Sorry, what was Vidura originally? What was he originally?
Yamaraja, Yamaraja.
Yeah, sorry, I think my
Yamaraj.
fault.
Other way around, I was wondering.
Yamaraj, sorry. So Yamaraj came as Vidura. Why? Because Yamaraj never had sufficient time to glorify. He is miles away and he's too busy. He's the busiest person, but he doesn't deny the seva. To give him the chance, he comes as Vidura. Even as Vidura, he does not have so much of chance to glorify, which is why there is a there is a orchestration where Duryodhana scolds him and he leaves the palace and takes over. Right. So with this, he's very excited now, Brahma, and he's moving on to glorifying the Lord. So he's saying, whatever I've spoken so far, like whatever you have spoken so far is perfect. Right. And however, until such time you are unaware of Krishna, the truth. So what he's telling, whatever you told about me is related to Visarga, which is perfect. You're the creator, everything you're controlling, nobody equal to everything. So what you're telling is not wrong. Because you are still not aware of a super creator who is the Sarga. So he is telling personality of God and Krishna is the ultimate creator. He's there, he exists even beyond me. So without and anyone will get illusion. Right? He's saying that anyone who does not know Krishna will obviously get, mesmerized by my creation. Right? So that is what he's saying. So this is what Brahma is telling. So that means how sweetly, this is what differentiates between Asura and an Asura. Asura like a Hiranyakashipu or Ravana wants to have control, Kamsa, in their hands. Even though they all have taken power from either Lord Shiva or from Brahma. Why do they want to do that? Because they want me, my, I factor. So many times they want to, criticize the Lord. They want to outsmart themselves. But the devotees are always going strong on that. So this is what you're talking about. Now he says that I've created this particular world, right? This particular thing, but who created? After Lord created with his energy, what is Lord's energy of creating the world called? What is the name of that energy? How does what is that? How does Lord create this material world? With what energy?
Spiritual energy.
Huh?
Spiritual energy.
Spiritual energy. What is that energy called?
Mahatattva? Is it Mahatattva?
Mahatattva, correct. Mahatattva, all of that is right. But what is that energy called? Krishna has 3 types of energy, right? What are those energies?
Internal.
Internal, Antaranga Shakti,
Bhagiranga Shakti.
Bahiranga Shakti,
Tatas.
Tataksha Shakti. We are belonging to Tataksha Shakti. Technically, we are superior energy, but because of the material world, because of the touch, we have become contaminated. But the particular world, right, is created by his personal effulgence, right? That is how the creations are happening. That is nothing but Brahmajyoti. That is why Krishna is telling that when you go to Vaikunth, you don't need sun and moon. Why? What is the shloka? What is that shloka? What is that shloka which he says you don't need? Why do you not need sun and moon?
Self-elimination.
Because of his effulgence, his own
Yes.
effulgence.
If anyone knows the shloka, न यद् भाषयते सूर्यो न शशङ्का न भावकः यद् गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धामं paramam bhava. That is the top bhava. There is no need. So why I brought in that sloka is because in our 11th verse, it says what? Just like how the sun, right, manifests its light, right? The moon, the everything, including the planets, all of them, the stars also manifest their brightness. How we always tell, right? There is a source. The same way Krishna's, the source is Brahma Jyoti, and the Brahma Jyoti's source is Krishna. That is what it says, Brahmanehi pratistaya amritasya vyashasya shashvatasya tadharmasya sukase kante katesha. So Brahmana, everything, which is why the devotees are telling in each Upanishad, I don't want that. Please remove that. Brahman effulgence, because I want to see your beautiful place. Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pilitam mukam. Tashvan pushan apavrinyu satya dharmaya drishte. So I want to see drishti. I want to have a look at your beautiful place. Haha. Just remove the Brahma Jyoti, he's saying. So now he's saying that I'm offering obeisances and therefore meditate on Vasudeva or Krishna, right? So he's telling, he is, before he even starts glorifying the Lord, he is meditating on Krishna, because anyone who's in Vyasapeeth, whoever it is, right? It is not, if you would have noticed a similar behavior from Sukadev Goswami, similar behavior from Sutta. They glorified two people. One is the Lord and second is the Guru. For Brahma, the Lord and the Guru happens to be Krishna, right? Partly for us also. For us also, the Lord is Krishna and the Guru, Adi Guru is, who's our Adi Guru?
Balaram.
Haribol, Balaram Prabhu, right? Balaram. So therefore, from him only, we have a chance to get a guru. Because since we are material, we will not be able to see the Lord who is spiritual, which is why Balaram manifests as guru and sends us a guru in a human form for us to see. That is why we say, Sakshat Daridvena. So what does it mean? Like he is equal to Lord. We should think of him as Lord, but Guru himself will not think himself as a Lord. That is the difference. So he's offering obeisances and he is meditating about Lord Krishna, who is Vasudeva. And this is not understood by less intelligent people, which is why they say, Avajananti ma muda manushim taramashita parabhavam ajanando mama bhuta maheshwaram. Nobody can understand because he is covered. What does Kunti tell in her prayers? What does she say?
Javanikachanam.
Akinchana. Maya Javanika Channam Agnyadokshana Avyayam Na Lakshate Muda Trisha Nato Natet Tato Yata. So basically, if you see Brahma Samhita or Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or any prayers of devotees, all of them will connect all these courses. If we try and see, more of shlokas, we'll be able to relate, right? All of them speak the same language. That is why we do Srimad Bhagavatam, because it's got everything concise, right? So this particular illusion and energy of the Lord obviously cannot override the Lord. Right. So that is the speciality. So Maya actually is so powerful, but when she will never come in front of the Lord. She's very shy. She's always behind the Lord. We've heard of it.
Yeah.
So she's very shy. That's why she doesn't come before the Lord, right? That is why they say, what is the shloka which says that even though Maya is powerful, once you take shelter of Krishna, Maya cannot do anything. What shloka is that in Bhagavad Gita? Bhakti Shastri completed Bhakti Vaibhav, my dear darling devotees. Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Devi Esha, right? That one. So once you take shelter of the Lord, she can do nothing. Why I'm referring to slokas is because you're already in advanced level, right? So I don't have to tell the story kind of concept. Like, if it is a junior classes or beginning, the start off for the devotees, then I will start, president is there. If he's having a problem, if the secretary behaves badly, if you get to know the president, the secretary will be very scared, well behaved and all that. But now the moment I tell Devi Esha Gunamai, you'll be able to relate and we'll also be getting well versed, because every student of Bhakti Vaibhav should become a teacher, some teacher or other. If not here, at least among the family, among friends, among temples, we should start speaking. Only then we will remember. At the same time, we'll be able to share Krishna's glories, which is what Krishna says, right? he always say, Yaidam paramam guyam madbhaktesha bidashasi bhaktimayi param kitva e vaishyasi asamshaya. That means what? Don't worry, I am, for anyone who speaks about me, I would love them. Nacha tasmat bhavishyashu kachit me priya kittamah. Bhavishyam nacha me tasmat anya priyatomi. There is nobody whom I will love more than such a person. Not only in the present, but also in future as well. So he's saying. So somebody who is influenced by Maya only believes in this I. So anyone who uses the word I, my, now I've started noticing, you know, and trust me, this is tough. I will, and I'm still trying. I thought for 1 month, I will try without using the word I or mine. Probably that is when I started concentrating more that, oh my God, every word of mine, I'm using mine, I'm talking about not in this language of I, me, mine. I'm talking about the actual I, me, mine. Oh, give me my stuff, give me my, because we're so much used to it. And if you all try for a day, you all will know how much of I, my, mine. Keep a coin or keep something and keep checking how many times you use. It's going to be mind blowing. It's a nice, interesting mind game you can play. So, so those who are bewildered by Maya obviously are into I, me, and mine, right? And now on the 14th verse, they are talking about 5 elementary ingredients, which is what I was talking about. Bhumi, Apo, Nala. What are the 5 ingredients?
What about a fiery?
Excellent. Right? And we have already read in Bhagavad Gita, right? Because of the interactions, right? So the interactions here they're talking about is eternal time. And time is dash.
Eternal.
Eternal, and it is from
Krishna only.
Krishna. And that Sudarshan Chakra is only time, which is why I remember PKD ma'am, who's my first teacher, says that time expands. If we need to accommodate things, time will expand. I've noticed even, lot of them, they will always accommodate. Even Priyadarshini Mataji, I'll be wondering when I'm stuck and when I can't read or something, and if I have to prepare for class, I'll just call her, she'll tell, okay. I have no idea how she'll accommodate. One side she will read for us. She's a part of Bhakti Vaibhav. She takes that. One side she will take something else. Suddenly, she'll accommodate my sudden request. Even when I was sick, I'll tell her, read Mataji. I can't read. I can't read. She will read. I've never heard her telling, can we do it later? I've never heard. Except the general Bhakti Vaibhavs, we may have a common time. Not that way, but on a personal level, I've never seen her post. I have no idea. She's staying, she cooks, she maintains this. And I mean, these are all, and I'm telling about one devotee whom I've interacted, and I've noticed at a personal level, but I've seen a lot of them, right? How they manage. If you take Dr. Prakash Parekh, he'll be at office, he'll be at the hospital, but still he'll tell, okay, Mataji, I'll take Bhakti Vaibhav session today. So they just do it. So how they do, some of these devotees don't say, Usha Mataji is another one. Anytime she used to read. And I've never heard her telling no at all. So many days I've seen sharing this. I've never heard no from her. That is one thing. I think I've sort of interacted with her about 4 years or 5 years now. I think four from the beginning, right, Usha Mataji? So literally, I've never heard this. So these are the things which are very unique. Why? How? Because time, right? Time expands for them because they're already wanting to accommodate Krishna. Somewhere or the other, they will also have challenges. They will also have problems. But time actually expands because time is Sudarshan. And obviously, all of us, which we said, Tataksha Shakti, are differentiated parts and parcels of Krishna. And now moving on to it. So why are Vedas created? Why are Vedas created?
To spread knowledge, divine knowledge.
Excellent. Vedas are created to spread divine knowledge of whom? Of
Of,
whom?
of Krishna. Of
Of
Krishna.
Krishna. Very nice. So what is that shloka which says that the Vedas are meant for Krishna only?
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो
Complete,
मत्तस्मृति
Mataji.
ज्ञानम् अपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः अहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् वेदवित् चाहम्.
Videvacham. Very nice. So the Vedas are for the purpose. The Vedas are created for the purpose of knowing Krishna, right? Obviously, he's the one who gives us intelligence, understanding, memory, and forgetfulness. But the purpose of he's a compiler as well as a creator of the Vedas. And to understand the purpose of Vedas is to know about Krishna, right? The main purpose of that is that, which is why the next two shlokas, 15, 16, are very similar to the one which we saw in Can. Have you heard of the similar shlokas? Remember, I'll tell you the sloka. You can tell me where you heard this, right? Vasudeve para Veda, Vasudeve para Makaha, Vasudeve para Yoga, Vasudeve para Kriyaha, Vasudeve param Jnanam, Vasudeve param Tapaha, Vasudeve paro Dharmo, Vasudeve parangatihi. Where did we do that? Heard of this?
First canto, third chapter, Mataji.
Bhagavatam.
Very nice. First canto, second chapter, actually, but almost close towards the end of the second chapter. So Vasudeva, they're talking about Vasudeva only is the topmost of all Veda. Right? Makka means what? What do you mean by Makka?
Face,
Makaha.
face,
Hare
face.
Krishna. Sacrifice. Sacrifices. All the sacrifices, yagnas and all that. Makaha. Right? So Vasudeva para yoga. Veda means, you know, you told me. Yoga means? Yoga. What do you mean by yoga?
Connection to God.
Connection.
Excellent. Yoga comes from the word yuj, connecting to God. Kriyaha means?
Work.
Work.
Activity.
Fruit of activities. Fruit of activities. So basically, Veda means obviously knowing the truth, Lord. We have a shloka also. Makaha means sacrifices. Yoga means connecting to Lord, not the physical exercise. Kriyaha actually talk about fruit of activities. And the jnanam, you all know that. Knowledge. Yeah. Tapa,
Austerity,
austerities. Dharma,
religion,
religion. And gati hai. Gati,
destination,
destination. So religion here, see, the dharma varies, right? When you're talking about paro dharma, every yuga has a particular dharma. What is the dharma in Satya Yuga?
Meditation.
Very nice. Next, Treta Yuga,
Yagna.
yajna,
Yagna.
the next one, that is the nice Dwapara.
Temple construction.
worship,
Very nice. And currently,
Kali Yuga. Nama Sankirtan.
Nama
Hari
Sankirtan.
Bol, very nice, Mataji. Krite Yadyayate Vishnu. त्रेतायत्य च तोमकैः द्वापरे परिचार्यायां kalo yat hari kirtanat. Very clearly. Why I'm telling you is the people will tell no, we believe in yagna. Correct, you should. But that is particularly applicable during the time of Treta. Whether Krishna changed this Dwapara to Treta is a different story. But every time even I get confused. Second one is what Dwapara. I have to think a minute before I come back to you all. So this is exactly they are talking about the 15th and the 16th verse, which is why I covered. It talks about Veda, Yagna, Loka, Maka, Yoga, Tapa, Jnanam, and Giya. Exactly carbon copy of whatever we saw there is this verse. The only difference there, it talks about Vasudeva. Here it's Narayana. Obviously, both are same. And the 17th verse is talking about, basically inspired by him only Narayana. Under his vision, all, basically, okay, we spoke about the sun and that's come here. So he's saying under Narayana only, I am obviously, that we're talking about Sarga and Visarga. Already created by Narayana, created him and inspired by him means already, when you get inspired, like Colombo invented, we don't say, there's a difference. What is the difference between invention and discovery? We use the word, what do you say? What is the difference between?
Already it was there. They
already
find it.
Excellent.
It is discovery.
Excellent. That's why what do you use for Colombo? Invented or discovered?
discovered.
Yes, because USA is already there. When we speak English, we don't actually see so much of depth of these words. But actually, if you see, they don't say invented it because it was already there. Invented by Narayana. He only discovered it. Even the, scientists use appropriate word. It's just that we who follow scientists don't understand the appropriation of the words used by them. Right? So he says that I discover what is already created by Narayana. Under his vision only, super soul is prevailing. So he is saying that I'm only creating what was already created by him. So that means he's, this is called recreation, right? Not recreation, recreation, which is already there, we recreate it. The mountain is already there. Based on that, only the small child creates the mountain. He doesn't say, I created the mountain, he says. That means it's already there. And then the child creates it. Like that, already whatever is there is what Krishna is. Created by Krishna is only what they are doing. Now, the going back to the 18th and the 19th is the Supreme Krishna, right? He's very pure. He's in absolutely spiritual form and he's transcendental to all the qualities, right? But just for the sake of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation, he's taking the form. Otherwise, Krishna, that's what we're talking about. Tell me, which sloka tells he's very pure?
Raja Vidyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam.
Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Sukha. Yes, the subject matter is very pure. But where does Krishna project to be very pure? Where does he say he is very pure? He himself is pure. He says he himself is very pure. Krishna by himself, what should I say? Krishna by himself is very pure. There is a sloka which says that in, I'll tell you the clue, in Isha Upanishad.
Shuddham apapavittam verse.
Hari bol, excellent, very nice. Saparyaga chakramakaram avyam ashnavidam suddham apapavidyam kavi manishi paribu swayambhu yata tatrato yartan vyadada shashvadipa samabhya. That means he's so pure. And I every time bring up not just the stoka but the content. My dad used to tell, open the window. Even though he was a doctor, he was, he makes sure that the windows are open. We have Dr. Parekh, we have Dr. Sangeeta Mataji and all. They always tell no matter whatever antiseptics are used, the sun rays outbeats all of them, right? So he used to tell just keep the windows open for a while, so let the rays of the sun come, including things like dead bodies can actually get disinfected with that. No. Hare Krishna. Sorry. Okay, so these are the things which are happening, right? So same way what Krishna is talking about is that the Supreme Lord, he is very pure. All his qualities are transcendental. He is above the material creation. But still, what happens is he's taking three modes, right? He's accepting through his, which energy is he accepting these material modes? No, what are they? Through which energy? Huh?
Inferior energy, Mataji.
External energy. The modes are created, the material modes. That is through external energy. Tadaka Shakti is us. The modes itself will internal energy.
Inferior energy.
Interior, na? What did you say? Inferior. Oh, sorry, Mataji. Yeah, correct. Inferior. Yes, sorry. Okay. Inferior energy, perfect. Inferior energy is external. Superior energy is internal. Sorry, Mataji, my fault. I didn't hear. Hare Krishna. So the external energy, which is his inferior energy, with which he creates three modes, which are managed by which avatar of his?
Guna avataras.
Excellent. So Shiva, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, right? Through that he manages. Therefore, the next one is the three modes which are manifested by him, right? Further, basically, all of them are subject of matter. So whatever is happening here are matter, they're combinations of knowledge, right? All of them which are there in that only, that is what is Mahatattva. If you see Mahatattva is like one full range, in that we start putting in everything, right? Everything goes into that Mahatattva. So that is the quality of the Mahatattva. Why? Because Mahatattva is, prior to that is Pradhana. So this is always a little tricky one. Pradhana is the raw material. If you're going to make, right, you talk about Pradhana, which is the raw material. We connect next to Mahatattva, where we are having again, take the dough. Dough, you have water separately, dough separately, all that separately kept. Now in Mahatattva, you're like actually trying to mix everything. In Prakriti, you're pushing that along with fire, which is your life consciousness. I'm just giving a very raw example. And therefore, it gets cooked. Same way, only when life comes in, everything starts getting it. Same thing applies to Garbho. Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, which is the Vishnu Tattva. I'm talking about the Virat Rupa by itself just had mountain, everything. Never had life until the Paramatma entered into it. So that is the beauty of this. Now we have not read 20th verse, right? So from 20 we have to do, or